All right, guys, I do want to show you one more thing, and this here is how to change the rates in a proposal for your client if you guys do want to round it up. So say, for example, you don't want your spots to be $198.25. You want to make them 200, even, flat, whatever. So once you've built your custom proposal and you're in this here spot, what you want to do is down here, you're in the proposal view, you want to go to spot list. Spot list populates it a little bit differently. And the rate that actually comes up on the proposal is this APB column. All right, so it can be a little bit timely if you're changing every single spot's price. The easiest way to do it would be to drag the APB up into this gray area, and now it's sorted by the different prices. So you can see there's about 10 to 15 different prices in here. So when it's like this, you can go to the spots that are $58.50. You'll see that there's only one that's selling at that price point. It's game 2 of the afternoon. So what you want to do is click on the APB portion. You want to right click, adjust APB, and in this case we'll make this one here $60. So enter 60, hit OK. All right, now you'll see that it's turned to 60 up here. The next one, 61.75. This is the other afternoon game. For whatever reason, the prices are just a little bit different. So what you can do again, let's change this here to 60. So right click on APB, adjust APB, enter 60. There you go. Now you see this portion here where it's $60. There's now 2 spots. That's what they come out to. Next one. So you can see here, you're actually, so games 1 through 15 are round 1. So these here, obviously, all these numbers are falling between 1 and 15. So it looks like all of these round 1 spots are right here at 198. One thing you can do is when there's multiples, I'll click on the top one, press and hold Shift, down arrow key, all the way to the bottom. Once all of them are highlighted, you right click, adjust APB. Let's take it to a round number of 200. Hit OK, and now they've all changed. All right, and then not to get too screwed up with this one here being open, sometimes what I'll do is I'll go back up, I'll close it down to 200. You'll see that the 61 is open, so there we go. We got 60 and 200. Next one, 208. So again, all of these games here are between 1 and 15. So that's a round 1 rate. So press and hold Shift, scroll down, and confirming all of them are games 1 through 15. We right click here, adjust APB, $200. Now, when doing rounded rates, you'll see I did round a few up. Ideal rule of thumb is the maximum discount we can give on these spots is 15%. In your case in Ottawa, I'm sure you guys can get away with a little bit more. It'll only get flagged in the system if it's like an outrageous rate. Once you guys get a little bit tighter on inventory, I'd try and be a little more careful with bonusing, but for now this will be totally fine. So here, the next one, the $221 cost point. You can see these games are between 16 and 35. So these are round 2, round 2 and 3. So typically what I do is I'll make rounds 2 and 3 all the exact same rate. These are 221. So for an example, do whatever you want. Let's make them 250. Okay. Now, one place you don't want to get lost is, see, I just made all of these 250. I did notice that there was another price point that was below 250. So you see I could have missed a few spots up here. So that's why I always close those down or minimize them, just so I can see all the price points. So I can see here, there's a couple in round 2 and 3 that were 230. Again, playoffs are very annoying. You guys are learning this at a very difficult time, jumping into playoffs opposed to starting with regular season, which is always easier. But if you guys learn it this way, trust me, come next season, it's going to be incredibly easy. So again, we're just adjusting the APB to 250 because this is game 16 to 35. Close that up. Let's see what we got next. Playoff pregame. All right, so again, it's just the exact same process all the way through. Playoff pregame. These are actually fairly expensive compared to RS Windsor. Adjust the APB, and you know what? Let's make them 300. Follow the same steps. Stanley Cup Final. Looks like Stanley Cup Final and Leafs round 1 are exactly the same, so really it won't make too much of a difference. I would just make them all the same price, and we'll even, in this case, give them a little bit of a discount. We'll make it $450. All right, and you'll see here we got some at 481. So Stanley Cup game, which you've already made 450, and Leafs game 7. So again, play with them however you want. I typically try and keep all of the scheduling options the same, because clients will always ask, well, why is this game more expensive than the other? Easy explanation to them to get around that would be, it's just based on viewership, inventory. There's a lot of different reasons why the pricing changes on a game-to-game basis. I think I just gave them a Leaf spot at 450. Anyways, doesn't matter. This here's just a tutorial video. And I'm just getting near the end. If you guys get this already, you don't need to continue watching. I am just taking you all the way to the very end to make sure every single rate is rounded. And you'll see, oh geez, they got playoff round 3 Leafs, which if you guys want to sell, by all means, go for it. I am not putting games into those rounds just yet, just because who knows what the chances are. And if neither of you guys sell round 2 or 3 of the playoffs, those are just going to end up getting bonused anyways, and all of your clients will still get the opportunity to run their spots. It's just not a guaranteed schedule. Once you've adjusted all of the APBs, you want to save it again. If for whatever reason you guys had an issue adjusting any of the APBs, always make sure you are saving, because sometimes you can't move on to the next step without saving your proposal. So now we have a very rounded rate at the very bottom. It's $19,420. You guys can do any kind of research that you want just to kind of find to see if you've missed a spot, but you can see these are now all rounded numbers. You can go back into your proposal view out of the spot list tab, and now your actual billing is like that. So it will change some of the overall numbers. We do now want to print this again and save it as a PDF just by following the same steps we've always done. End of the day, you could have changed your CPMs slightly, your cost per rating point, total billing, etc., etc. Oh yes, now do remember that this here was for an agency, so the rates are up a little bit higher than normal because they are gross, and here it breaks it down the net rate and the gross rate. Alright, if you guys have any questions on this, always feel free to reach out, and I can help you walk it through on a case-by-case basis.